What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Extra Attacker Podcast, Episode 7. I'm one of your hosts, Kynan Sorkin. Joined alongside me is the other host, Jeff Hale. How you doing?
I'm all right. It's been a long week. I realize my camera is very high right now. So let's
Well,
hey, that's a
it
little
should
bit better.
stop doing the drugs. If it's that
You're not
high.
wrong. No, I'm pretty good. Pretty good. Having a good week. As we were just discussing, I woke up this morning and it's snowing. Makes me very happy.
It's
I
a
love
good
that.
thing.
It's a good thing.
It means it's truly hockey season. It's truly Christmas season.
It means I might be putting my tree up today.
Oh yeah, well my family's doing it tomorrow. We're putting up our tree tomorrow.
Okay, I feel less bad now. It's absolutely gonna happen.
I do live in Canada. That does
It's true.
help. And
Oh yeah, and you guys already had Thanksgiving, so you don't have that artificial barrier like we do.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, none of those barriers. Yeah. I would like to point out quickly before we begin, apologies last week again for the Netflix quality production. We will we will hopefully not have the same event happen today.
You had that one in your back pocket, just waiting for it, didn't you?
Oh yes, sir.
I forgot all about it.
Yeah. For those of you who didn't watch the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight last night, Netflix severely crapped the bed, and there had I guess too many people viewing, and so the constant disconnection problems, buffering, video quality. I was like, is it me? Is it them? And then I checked the onlines, and so none of that today.
I just can't believe a company like Netflix was having that kind of an issue.
Well, it's the way of things, Sportsnet's starting to have some issues. There's literally within like a week or two, they during the middle of a Vancouver game went to commercial, and they're raising prices. So,
Love that. That.
What is this? YouTube?
Charge you more and give you less. Sounds like the way of the world.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. But enough of the downers, and the mocking. Let's go to some celebrations and some goodness here in the hockey world, and start right off with our OV watch, watching the Great Eight crawl, climb, and speed towards Wayne Gretzky's goal total and breaking the record for most goals scored by any NHL player. Jeff, how close is he now?
He had a bad week. He only scored twice.
Oh no. Only 2 goals in a week?
Only 2 goals in a week where you only play 2 or 3 games. Imagine being so bad you only average about a goal per game. It's embarrassing.
Dude's washed. He's washed.
Dude is washed. He is 31 away from tying, 32 away from taking it now. 863. He is keeping up his crazy pace. It's happening this season.
Yeah.
Maybe what I'll do is when we get close, I'll plan on doing a watch party for the game, like I do on my other channel. We'll do an Extra Attacker watch party for the OV record breaking.
That would be awesome.
Maybe we'll do that. We'll see what happens when we get closer. Let us know if you guys want to see that.
We'll do something. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's
make
awesome.
a t-shirt or something. I don't know.
Yeah, Washington's just doing so well. I'm very impressed. But yeah, that's our OV watch. Keep an eye on it, everyone.
A lot of personal goals, personal milestones this week too.
Yeah, it's
been a slow news week, but a very big week in terms of personal milestones.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you talk about the first one.
Okay, so this guy has got 1,000 NHL points.
That shirt is so bad. But at the same time, I want one.
That's when you know you've got a great locker room culture. Is when this, after you literally be the best modern player in the game and you reach that milestone, and after the game you come into the locker room and everyone's wearing this shirt.
That's incredible.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Connor McDavid, McMagic, McJesus, McDangles, McNasty, whatever you want to call him, has become the fourth fastest and fourth youngest player in the game to ever reach 1,000 NHL points in his career, doing it in a mere 659 games.
He's good.
He's
it's
so
disgusting.
good. Now, I want to give another fun little cheeky fact. Technically, McDavid is only the fifth fastest player. What was that? It didn't come through.
I was just saying, shh, be quiet. Don't say that.
Well, and I'll say why. Because we all know who's number one.
Me.
But can you guess?
Is it Gretzky?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, and can you
I
guess?
actually don't know.
And here's the most wild thing. Number two is technically also Gretzky. He scored his first 1,000 points in like 424 games.
Okay.
He scored his second 1,000 points in like 450 games, an additional 450 games. He got to hit 2,000 points. He got to his second 1,000 points faster than anyone else has gotten to their first 1,000 points.
So even if Ovechkin passes his goals record, even if Connor McDavid ends up passing his goals record, wins 8 cups for the Oilers, I don't want to hear anybody say that McDavid or Ovi's better than Gretzky. I did not actually know that stat. That's disgusting.
Yeah, it's actually stupid because I mean
That's
we're talking about the
disgusting.
guy that for multiple seasons in a row scored over 200 points in a season for multiple seasons in a row.
Yeah.
He just was lighting it up.
1,000 points, 400 games. I'm not a math guy, but that's coming up on 2.5 points a game.
Mm.
If you can average 1 a game these days, you're an elite player.
Yeah. Well, there was after the game where he scored his 1,000th point, they put up this graphic of what it was like the year that Connor McDavid got drafted. The Art Ross, so the guy who wins the most wins the trophy for having the most points, had 87 that year. 87 points. And that was Jamie Benn. Crosby was like 4th in the league with 83 or something stupid. It was.
But you said the year McDavid was drafted, right?
2015. Yeah.
Okay. For some reason, my brain went to the year that McDavid was born, and then you said Jamie Benn. I was like, oh, hold up, pump the brakes. Again, I'm not a math guy, but like something ain't making sense here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So now
continue.
So now the thing that's being asked, now the big question that's being asked is now that McDavid's reached 1,000, can he get to 2,000? Because let me look up quickly all-time NHL points leaders. If we look at that, there is only one player who has ever broken 2,000, and that's Wayne Gretzky. Yager got close with 1,921, and then no one else is in the 1900s. And you got a couple in the 1800s, and then a few in 1700, and then you've got Sid, who just passed 1,600 this year. Ovechkin, who will get to 1,600 this year. But there's not a ton of people. No one else. Only one person's ever broken 2,000. But
yeah,
McDavid's 27. He turns 28 this season. Can he do it?
I think he can. I was actually thinking about this last night. I mean, McDavid is different, obviously, but everybody, you're going to come into the league, you're going to start off a little slow, you're going to have that learning curve, you're going to have growing pains. He's over that. He's in the prime of his career right now. He's got at least more than half of his career left. He's getting it. He's got at least another 10 years.
Yeah. Well, and that's the wild thing. He heals so quickly. We talked about that last week. And these players, let's look at Crosby. Crosby's kind of that first example of look at the longevity you can have now as the nutrition and the
Yep.
training and just all the health related things and all the medical stuff. If a player takes care of themselves and a team has the staff and access to the technology and equipment to help these players stay in shape, look how long they can produce and stay relevant. Crosby's still a point per game player, and he's 37, 38.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. So if McDavid can still say McDavid follows the same suit 10 years from now, when he's the same age as Crosby is right now, like why not?
I'm saying 22 by that point.
Like what if Crosby can somehow make it to 2,000 points? If he can keep this up, I mean, I don't know if he could maintain this on Pittsburgh's squad.
No,
but players.
And that's why I don't think he gets it.
These elite players they have the ability to potentially play for longer now.
Yeah. Which is just amazing to me that in hockey we're seeing players get into their 40s. We don't see very much of that in any other sport. In hockey, I mean, you're going out there getting your butt beat every single night, getting run into the boards, taking pucks to the legs at high speed. I mean, I just saw this week another record was set. It's like a 106-mile-an-hour shot. Like, that's a good 30, 40 miles an hour faster than you're driving on the highway into your leg. And he's 37 and not even slowing down. It blows me away. You get to 32, 33 in baseball and you're an old man and you're getting ready to retire. Like, it blows me away how much these hockey players could keep going.
Yeah.
I feel like a large part of it is just keep going and let the consequences be damned. I think that's a large part of it, honestly. Like, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think a big part of it too, because let's maybe you can look at it in other sports too. Why aren't players able to play this long in other sports?
Yeah.
Football, I mean, most positions don't last. You make it to 30 in most positions in football, and that's impressive.
Yeah.
And that's 30 is really when you're just starting to get to the end of your prime in hockey, but you still at least have a good 4 or 5 plus years left. Baseball, I don't know much about all of the positions. I know pitchers can't make it that long just because of the wear and tear on their arm. Yeah. I don't know about the other positions.
Especially the last couple of years, pitchers have been hurting themselves real bad. There's a couple of guys that make. I mean, Verlander, I think, is like 41. But yeah, for the most part, you get into your mid 30s, you're kind of getting close to done.
But even let's say soccer, like soccer, the positions are so specialized that you don't see people really changing their roles.
Yeah.
And doing things. I mean, I also don't know the average age of soccer players, so for all I know, it could be that. But in hockey,
well, it's not a real sport, so
true, so true. In hockey, one, you're not playing the entire game.
Yeah.
So you have shifts. There's frequent substitutions, all that jazz, and your role can change. You can be a forward, you can be a defenseman, but the amount you play in a game and the type of output that's expected of you can change. Let's look at, Corey Perry's a great example. He used to be, he's a Hart Trophy winner, league MVP. Yeah. Now he's a fourth line player, but he's still relevant and he's still making things work despite his old age. So it's, I think point. McDavid will make it. It'll be interesting.
Oh, easy. Yeah.
Okay. Our next item is another record, which I don't know, might be even more impressive than the McDavid one.
Ooh.
I don't know. I think that's up for debate. I don't know if it is. Okay. But this is a breaking of a record. We have a brand new leader, Jeff. What is it?
It is Andrei Vasilevsky, fastest goalie to reach 300 wins in NHL history ever.
Ever.
And
he beat the previous record by 31 games.
I do like seeing Tuukka on there. I miss Tuukka.
Yeah. That's kind of the difference. The interesting difference with this list versus the McDavid one is I forgot to get it up, but on a list I saw of the top 10, like we see here, all the other names on the McDavid list were old names. No one that has played. Like no one that's currently playing or has played within, the last 15 years.
Yeah.
Half the names, more than half the names on this list are people that are either active or have been recently active.
Yeah. Yeah, that's if I remember correctly, Bob, I think it was 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, something like that. He hit it, so he was real recent. Flower's still in the league. Tuukka was less than 10 years ago, so this is a much and I wonder, are goalies getting better or our offense is getting worse? Like I wonder how much of that. I mean, both obviously, but to what degree and how many more active guys are we going to see on this list coming up?
Yeah, and that's what I don't know. There does kind of seem to be a bit of a wave of, goalie generations. I think are a bit more definable. Like you have this group of goalies, and they're the dominant ones for the most amount for a section. And then you have the next wave kind of come in, because you have Vasilevsky, Bobrovsky, Fleury. All those three guys have been in the league for a while now.
Yeah.
Bobrovsky and Fleury more so. But, all those three guys have been there. But then, you've got your new agers like Shesterkin, Swayman, Allmark, Ottinger. These guys, they're kind of that next gen of the elite goalies that are just kind of existing. So you'll see them start to pop into things like this as time goes on. But it just seems to be kind of from my experience, and I could be completely wrong, but this is kind of the path and method that goalies take.
Sure.
In their results.
And I just want to point out too, not only is 300 wins a lot, but 300 out of 490 total. He hasn't even lost 200, and he's won 300.
Yeah.
How low can that record really get? We're never gonna see 300 for 300.
No.
Like how? I don't care how good you are. Eventually, there's just not enough available space for you to get onto that list. How low can that number realistically go? I mean, I don't think we'll even ever see 3 out of 4.
Yeah, well, because that 3 out of 4 would mean you get it in 400 games.
Exactly.
Exactly it. So he's the only goalie to break 500. To do it in less than 500 games, which, these goalies that did it close to 500 or in the 500s, they're winning 3 out of every 5 games. So, they're at that almost 60% win percentage mark, which, is great. That's the mark of a great team. But this is slightly above that 60%. This is actually in the 60% win percentage.
Yeah. So that was kind of my thought as we're looking at this and talking about this is just how low can that number realistically get, and how much room is there going to be,
Yeah, because let's see, and this is the thing too. How many times has Tampa Bay won it? They've won it once during Vasilevsky's time. So he hasn't even been on the team with the most wins.
Yeah.
Of anyone.
Maybe
only
just
1 year. It's just
he's just really good at dodging the losses.
Yeah, because with your best goal you win, and if your backup's trash, then it's a little bit harder.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Good on him.
Now,
I just didn't realize the numbers when I was looking at the notes here for today. 300 out of 490. It wasn't until I saw that graphic that number, that ratio really hit. But that's props to him.
Yeah. Now, he's not the only goalie that's been hot.
Oh.
Hellebuck just continues to be absolutely dominating. He leads the league in the he leads the betting odds in terms of winning the Vezina, because he's first because he has 12 wins so far this season. The guy who's in second in terms of odds, Igor Shesterkin, has 6 wins.
Yep.
And
Hellebuck's gross.
Hellebuck, I mean, in the last week and a half in 4 games, he stopped 121 out of 125 shots.
I did see that graphic too, and it just, I don't know. I feel like I hate really cheesy marketing. And so all season last season, we're getting all these stupid commercials from the NHL. They're showing all these highlights and talking about all these cool things, and the golden age of hockey is now, because they're taking a swipe at all the boomers, saying, "Oh, we missed the golden age of hockey," and they're saying it's now. And then every week, I feel like we're able to throw some of these graphics on the board where a new all-time record is set by somebody in something, and it's just cool to feel like every week something is going to happen that is monumental.
Yeah. Well, it's, so many of these records we thought were untouchable because of just the difference in the game, the competitiveness, the elite level of both players and goalies. And, there are some things like Gretzky and the amount of, getting 200 points in a season. Like we thought 150 was impossible. And then, McDavid got it. We thought 100 assists in a season was impossible. But then Kucherov and McDavid both did it last year. There's some things that are for sure impossible, but then, like you were saying, this is the golden age. We're proving things wrong, both on the goalie side and the player side.
Yeah,
it's both sides. So both sides, you're getting these extreme talents, and it's wonderful. And it only is going to keep helping the game because these players that are breaking these barriers, people will figure out how are they doing it, and they'll be able to go and learn it. And then the new kids will continue to keep getting better. And whatever was lost between that age where you had these stupid results happening and then it kind of died down to now, whatever was lost, we're gaining back.
Yep. And then some. Yeah. And that's the thing. I think we were talking about it briefly last week that all these sports have to keep implementing rule changes because the offense is too good, so we have to dumb them down. And then, oh crap, now the defense. Leave it alone. It ebbs and flows. Sports are going to be cyclical, and once somebody figures out an unbeatable strategy, they'll be dominant for a little while until the other side can figure out how to counter it, and they will figure out how to counter it. Leave it alone. And this is one of the things that hockey has done very well. And look at where we are. We didn't need artificial intervention, changing the rules, changing the way the game is played. Leave it alone. Let it go.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, instead we have good things like coaches' challenges being allowed. Yeah. I'm a big fan of that. You have little things like, I'm blanking on examples, but there are things where it's minor. They make minor improvements, and there are still things that need to be improved.
Sure.
Like goalie interference. Sure. But
what is goalie interference?
Yeah, well, Hellebuck apparently has a presentation.
I
recently found out he did send a full-blown deep dive presentation to the league that's sitting in some file folder somewhere, lost forever. Yeah. But
no, that's the exact point that I'm making too. If you can't think of them, that tells me that there hasn't been any major shifts, major changes by the league, and I think that's the best way of handling it. That's the best way to do it, I think. So, leave it alone. We're getting some good hockey.
I agree.
This next one makes me sad, though. Dustin Wolf, first career shutout. Props to him.
Why does it make you sad, Jeff?
I had him on my bench in my fantasy team.
I had I had a similar experience a couple weeks ago. I had Skinner on my bench the week he got a shutout. And had I not had him on my bench, I would have won that week. I would have won that week. Mm-hmm.
If I end up losing this week to your dad because of those points, I'm going to be so salty. Just putting that one out there. I'm going to be upset.
I was sad, and you should be sad if that happens. But maybe it will, maybe it won't. You never know. Never know. But
Dustin Wolf getting his first career, but then Omar getting his first as a Senator. And not against a bad team. Against Toronto. Cancel the parade, Leafs fans. You're done. You're cooked. Captain's still out though, so that still gives them an excuse.
Yes, yes. Matthews is out, so the team's just not at their elite level, you know.
Ooh, elite level.
Ooh.
What even is
Ooh.
elite for them?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Washed.
lots of
Washed
goalie.
him.
Did anybody else watch the Carolina at Utah game on Wednesday?
I did not. I
You missed out.
Oh, so
I
you
I
were
will
at
go
that game,
so
weren't you?
far. I was. I was. I will go so far as to say the third period of that game was the best single period of hockey we've seen in the league. Most exciting this year. Let me add that onto there. I have to English here. Um, yeah. So we got tickets last minute. I was planning on streaming that game. We got tickets last minute and went. And I was saying, Utah has a really good way of playing down to bad teams and playing up to good teams. So I knew we were going to be semi-competitive. We had one of the worst second periods that we've had. Just the
Nice.
usual crap, very, very sloppy. And then we go into the third, and we pick up the pace, and we're looking good. I just want to point out here, 3 goals in a 2-minute, 19-second span. We're up 4-1. Then Michael Carcone lays a huge hit in the corner. Dude gets mad, comes after him, tries to start a fight. Doesn't work out very well for him. Michael Carcone spins around to entertain the fight. As he one punches him down to the ice, drops to his knees, and you can see him waiting, and then bang, and just dropping down on him.
Bang.
Destroys this kid.
Let's go.
Wasn't even a real fight. Because how one-sided it was, he didn't even end up getting a fighting penalty. Carcone gets 5 for fighting, 2 for instigating. Still, I'm not entirely sure how that all worked, but we now have a 7-minute power play to kill. 30 seconds left in that 7-minute power play. We get 2 for hooking. So now we're down 5-3 for 30 seconds.
There's no way that they only gave. I've never heard of them giving one fighting meet. That's no shot.
Yep.
Okay,
True
keep
story.
going. I'm.
True story. Yeah, so 7 minutes plus the 2 minus the 30 seconds of overlap. So we had 9 minutes straight of penalty kill. Part of that being 5-on-3. We killed it. Vamelka with 49 out of 50 saves. First time anybody in Utah history has had to face 50. His career high. 1 away from a shutout. Dude went off. This was the week of the goalie. And it was one of the most exciting things that we have ever watched. I mean, that was the loudest I've heard a crowd at any event, in any event that I've ever been to, was Wednesday night at the Delta Center. We were crazy going off. I would also like to point out, just for irony's sake, they had the item of the day. They made a spicy tuna t-shirt. A, it's not as nearly as good as mine, and B, they also scratched him from the game, so he was a healthy scratch and didn't play. Make that make sense.
Well, I mean, the arena's gonna plan their thing, and the team's got to do their thing. So a little unfortunately timed, but
yeah.
it is what it is. Every team's got their fourth liner that they love that sometimes gets scratched because
He's played 3 games this year.
Really? Only 3? Because he's just usually been a healthy scratch?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. Our theory, the theory that me and my roommates have, is that if it was anybody else, he'd have been sent back down to the AHL by now. But they need to keep him around to sell shirts and sell jerseys because he made such an impression on the fans at our Welcome to Utah party back in April. And Utah just had their first jerseys show up yesterday. And he was a big part of the first jersey run.
Oh, yeah. Undoubtedly.
So they just needed to sell some shirts.
That tracks.
Yeah. But no, it was crazy. Absolutely crazy. It was incredibly exciting. But I
Oh, it
still
looks like a
don't
good game.
understand. Yeah, I still don't
That's
understand, like you were saying, the one
that's
for fighting.
I've never seen that. Yeah, because he got an
Yeah.
instigator penalty, a fighting penalty, and Michael Carcone aggressor. I don't know what that means. I've never seen that, and I've never. How can only one person get a
Fighting.
penalty for fighting?
Yeah.
Did the other guy drop his gloves?
Yeah. He comes up behind Carcone chasing him, trying to get him into a fight, dropped his gloves. And then that's when Carcone, as he's turning around, throws the gloves down and comes around with the right hook. So they were both in it, but I mean, Carcone hit him once, put him to the ground, and then dropped on top of him and hit him a few more times, and that was it. I don't know
Yeah.
why, if he actively participated,
I've never
I don't know why
understood.
he didn't get the fight penalty, or Carcone getting the instigator when he was instigated against. I don't get it.
Yeah, I've never. I need to look up the instigator rule because I've never.
Yeah.
Normally, you'd think, oh, the instigator is the person who started it, but the amount of times I've seen the person who started it not be the one that gets the instigator penalty.
Yeah.
Clearly, there's something the refs are seeing that I'm not, that the
Yeah.
refs know. Yeah,
Yeah.
it seems. It almost sometimes seems more like a penalty for winning the fight rather than starting the fight.
It kind of does sometimes. Let's be real here. You
Like,
beat
again,
him too bad, have an extra 2 minutes.
I mean, again, I need to look up the rule to be able to
Yeah.
properly give any kind of insight there. But normally, I feel like when it's the name instigator, you feel like it'd be pretty intuitive to understand. But
Yeah.
that is not yet seemed to be the case.
We'll see.
But,
It's more. They just need to give you an extra 2 minutes to rest your knuckles because they're tired.
okay, yeah,
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah. You
Well,
also went to a game this week.
Yeah, you weren't the only one that went to a game this week. I also went to a game. I went to the Edmonton Oilers against the New York Islanders. Took my sister for her birthday. It was a grand old time, and to be honest, I was a little worried because the first two games I'd picked for my portion of season tickets this year the Oilers had gotten shut out in both of them. One against Winnipeg, once against New Jersey. Fortunately, a couple days before the game, I was able to trade the game to New Jersey. Some stuff came up and I wasn't able to go. So fortunately, I dodged that bullet. But I go, what are the odds that I pick both games where we get shut out at home?
Yeah.
And so, this third game going, and we're against Elias Sorokin, who's one of the top goalies in the league, and he's shut us up. There was one time he had like a 49 save shutout against the Oilers. So I'm
Gross.
like, and the first period was tied 0-0. Very good period. We were dominating play, and then beginning of the second period, we score on a power play, and I mean this was the night. So McDavid was 5 points away from 1,000, and I'm like, dude, he could maybe get to 1,000 tonight. He's done crazier things than a 5-point night. He's had that before, and from his first shift, you could tell, oh, he's going for it tonight. He wants it. He wants it. And so, he gets a point on the first goal. I'm like, oh, that's one. And then he gets a point on the second goal. I'm like, that's two. And then he gets a point on the third goal. I'm like, oh, that's three. And I'm going, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And, but the one issue is it was getting closer to the end of the game, and it was 3-1 at that point. I'm going, there's only going to be an opportunity for one empty net, so he can really only get to 4. But then New York scored a second goal, and I was like, oh, now there's a chance for 2 empty net goals, which means 2 more points, and then McDavid gets to 1,000. It could happen. And then literally there was an icing or something, so it was face-off in the Oilers zone, and they pulled the goalie, and then they just had this perfect sequence off of the face-off to score and tie it up 3-3. Come on. No. So it goes into overtime, and you're like, okay, it's not possible today, but we can still win. And then it was just a beauty overtime winner. McDavid to Draisaitl set up for point number 999. And yet another overtime winner for Draisaitl this year, and it was
Loving it.
It was
that
fantastic.
Dude thrives in OT.
3-on-3 overtime is their
gross.
bread and butter. They have a significantly bad record in playoff 5-on-5 overtime, Weirdly enough, in the
Interesting.
McDavid era, we have a terrible record in overtime in the playoffs, but in the regular season, very good. 3-on-3 is fantastic for us. So yeah, very fun game. Almost got to see him get to 1,000, but I got to see his very last triple-digit point. No one will ever be able to see that again. So that's kind of,
no big deal.
no
big deal.
No. Okay, but speaking of Carolina, they're having some goalie problems, and not just when it comes to scoring on Utah's second-string goalie.
Ooh. I don't know if he's second string for much longer here. He'd be looking good.
Mm-hmm.
He'd be looking good. But yeah, they are struggling right now. They're down to their third and fourth string goalies. We don't know how long. Frederick Anderson out indefinitely. He's their starter.
Dude's made of glass.
Pretty much. Pretty much. But they are panicking. They are in full-on panic mode right now. Don't even remember the name of their number 2, but he was the one who played at Utah on Wednesday. And we go put a goal in, and then he just falls on the ice and doesn't get up for a few minutes.
Ooh.
And I'm wondering, was there goalie interference? Did we hit him as we came across? And then we see the replay. He was on the left side, and he just stretched to go right and did the splits a little too much, and then didn't get up from it. So I'm thinking there's some kind of a groin injury in there.
Mm-hmm.
But he got pulled out with only a couple minutes left, and they're hurting. Carolina fans, I'm sorry. Third and fourth string goalie, not fun. And the quote from the head coach was way longer than expected for those injuries.
Ay caramba.
Yeah, this isn't a short-term deal, so expect them to be looking for some goalie help at the deadline this year.
Or sooner.
Or soon, yeah.
Depends what's out there, what they can get, and what the price would be.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just that's just not good if you're a Carolina fan.
No, I think New York Islanders should just trade Sorokin to them. Islanders aren't a relevant team. You're wasting the years of one of the best goalies in the world. Come on.
You're not
Get him to a relevant team already.
But you know who they should trade him to is to Utah. They should do that instead.
Well, why do you need him? You had Velmica, Vemelka.
Oh, we have
Vegemite. Whatever his name is.
You can do it.
He saved 49 shots. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know if you need him, but yeah. Utah.
Well, he lost the game last night. So
Utah could use him for sure.
Yeah.
Well, who else is in? What? So this one's interesting. Why do you say this next thing that's on our list?
Are you looking at the Jim Montgomery here?
Yeah.
There has been a lot of articles coming out, a lot of rumors coming out. Jim Montgomery's job is in jeopardy right now. He may not be finishing the season with us. I don't know how accurate that is. Obviously, it's all just kind of rumors right now. Boston is 4-1-1 in their last 6 games, so they definitely figured something out, and they've been turning it around. But we talked about it last week as well. They're struggling, and they really need to figure it out. You know, we definitely lost some key pieces in the offseason, but nothing huge, nothing major. There's no reason we should be underperforming as bad as we are.
Yeah, it's
scoring. Weird. And that's the thing. It's weird to me that the coach is always the scapegoat, but we're just not scoring goals. I'm not saying that he's perfect and it's not his fault.
Minus 16 goal differential.
Yeah. And it very well may be his fault. Maybe he sucks as a coach. I don't know. But when we're not scoring goals, he's out there holding these players accountable. And it seems by all metrics that he's doing his job. Is it really going to do much to fire him and get a new coach in there? Maybe it will. Who knows? Maybe Woodcroft was a great coach.
The Oilers say it works.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. Maybe the problems last year weren't his fault, and they just needed something different and a new change of scenery to go on a tear. Maybe they were his fault. It's always just been a thing with me. It's weird that anytime a team in any major sport is struggling, it's always the coach's fault. He's always the first one to get fired. I've never understood why. But there are a lot of people saying Jim Montgomery's job is in jeopardy here, and he may not make it to the end of the season. Take that with a grain of salt, but we'll see what happens.
I mean, if we look at it, Boston is technically in third, but they've played 1 to 3 more games than the other 3 teams with 17 points. Any one of these teams with those games in hand gets a win, or if all of them get a win with those games in hand, all of a sudden Boston goes from 3rd to 6th.
Yeah. Tampa Bay, Ottawa, Buffalo. They're all playing today.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the standings could look very different tomorrow.
Yeah. And again, it's early enough. I'm not worried about it, but I don't know.
We'll see.
That's my soapbox. Coaching changes are weird.
Yeah. Another team that's having some partial issues. The coach isn't in trouble, but the coach did recently come out and say something, is Vancouver Canucks. So we have Rick Tocchet here, coach of the year last year, but Vancouver's been struggling at home. And he says, I apologize to the fans. We're not playing good enough at home. It's on me. Guys played light tonight. I thought we were ready to go. We weren't. It's on me. So, I mean, that is, a guy who is a coach of the year type of coach.
Yeah.
Taking responsibility. I mean, again, that's wild that he's taking that on him. That's the players not showing up. That I don't know how much of that is you.
Yep.
And if we, look at how Vancouver's doing, they're 8-4-3. They have a fantastic record. And
it's not bad at all.
I mean, of the 8 games they've played at home, they've only won 2. Yeah. So that is painful because Vancouver has very passionate fans, but they can also be very vicious fans. And when you've only had 2 wins, I mean, 3 of those have been overtime. So they've been close, just unfortunate final decision. Yeah. Not great, but your team itself isn't doing badly. You still have a great record. You just got to clean that up. So I don't know. I feel like that might be blowing it up a little. That might just be the Canadian / Vancouver media blowing that up a little bit more. But hey, good relations lead to good results. I think could be a fair statement.
Something. Yeah. I don't know. I think, again, it's early in the season. I think a lot of fan bases are freaking out. I think a lot of the media is freaking out because that's their job. They have to. Let's all just take a deep breath. I mean, again, we can't say, oh, it's early. Oh, it's early. Oh, it's early. We can't say that all year. But you see issues, take note of them. Do what you got to do to fix it. Let's not make any knee-jerk reactions yet. Wait till at least mid-December to do that. They're going to be fine. They're a good team. They're going to figure it out.
Okay. Well, that's what we've got for this week in hockey. So I guess on to our major injury report.
Yeah.
Brought to you by Pain.
Pain. Lots of pain.
Something everyone gets to deal with.
Yeah, I'm not going through and listing every injury. These sections have been taking a little too long, and quite honestly, I feel like it's probably not all that interesting to label everybody who's injured. So we're going to label everybody who's like major players or major injuries. Far less of those. Matt Zuccarello from Minnesota out 3 to 4 somethings.
Weeks or months?
Probably weeks. That got deleted. I don't know what happened there.
Wasn't me.
3 to 4 weeks. Lower body. There we go. Frederick Anderson out indefinitely. We already did talk about that. Carolina's goaltender. They're hurting. They're hurting bad, and they have no estimate on his return. Hampus Lindholm, Boston defender, to miss, quote, weeks. So he's out for a while.
That's painful.
Anthony Mantha of Calgary. He's out for the season. ACL surgery on Thursday. He's done.
Mantha's one of their better players right now, too. So that's
a big deal for them, and they're
That's painful.
overperforming. They're
Yeah.
having a good year. That's a big deal for their team. Derek Forbort with Vancouver out a month with his knee injury. And Ross Colton, we've talked about him, I think, the last 2 weeks. He was downgraded this week. He is now to miss, quote, significant time. So he is not getting better. Can Colorado
It was supposed to be only
just
4 to 6
stay
weeks.
healthy? I think so. It was going to
Yeah.
be too long, but not a huge deal. But it's
Ross
looking bad.
Colton was one of kind of their newer players who is having a breakout season. Like he might.
Yeah.
I think he's not long timer. I don't think. Maybe not. Let's see. Ross Colton. Let's take.
All I know is I had him on my fantasy team, and it was great.
I too had him in one of my leagues, and yeah. So he in his career, yeah. So he spent 3 seasons with Tampa Bay. He had 1 season with Colorado last year, and in 80 games only had 17 goals, 23 assists, 40 points. But in 10 games, he'd already had 8 goals this year because of the opportunity. Because, his average time on ice last year was sub 14 minutes. This season, due to the injuries, he was playing 18 and a half minutes.
Yep.
He was getting opportunities. He was taking advantage of them. And nothing.
And that's what good players have to do. I mean, obviously you need to be good. You need to make opportunities. You need to force yourself into the lineup. But you also really need to be ready and able to take advantage of those opportunities when they come up last minute, when you don't expect all those huge injuries. And he was doing a very good job with that. That's a big blow to Colorado, especially with how many injuries they have. So they are hurting bad right now. It is not bueno.
No, so that's not what you want.
No. Less than ideal, as the children say.
Less than ideal. Absolutely.
Yes. We've got a trade.
We got a trade alert. Trade alert. Beep, 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 beep. Yes, the Washington Capitals have acquired forward Lars Eller from the Pittsburgh Penguins in exchange for a 2025 fifth-round draft pick and a 2027 third-round draft pick. Ooh. Now, I put this on the schedule, not because it in and of itself is major. Lars Eller, veteran depth center. Okay, like he's scored 8. His highest scoring season was 18 goals. Okay, he's had 39 points one season. He's never even clipped 40 points. Okay, but that's because he's a depth forward. He's there for a lot of other reasons. I don't know what they are, but he's a name I've known of. It's a name I've heard.
Yep.
And the thing is, he used to be on the Capitals. He was on Montreal for a number of seasons, but then was on the Capitals for 7 seasons. He was with them when they won the Cup. So he's a guy that they know, guy that's probably friends with, Ovi and some of the other long timers there. So it seems kind of like we're just bringing him back for his last season sort of thing. He's played over 1,000 games. How old is he? He's 35 years old, yeah. So he's nearing the end of his career. The reason this is significant isn't because of the trade itself, but this is the sign of Pittsburgh gearing up for the end. Kyle Dubas recently said that everyone but Crosby, the only person who is untouchable is Crosby. Everyone else has a price.
Yep.
And, I feel like if he even gets desperate enough, Crosby might even have a price. If anyone would be willing to pay it, which I doubt, but who knows?
Only $8.7 million.
Yeah, but he old. that's the only downside. It's like, okay, well, how relevant is he going to be? Vegas would never go for someone like it.
Oh, no.
If they were willing to trade Fleury because of his age, even after winning goalie of the year, the Vegas doesn't go for the oldies. They like him young. Pause.
Did he in Vegas?
Moving on. Yeah, so I think this is. I keep an eye out for what's going to happen in Pittsburgh.
I want to add one note to that too. I mean, it does show that Pittsburgh's offloading. I think it also shows that the Caps are recognizing, hey, we're overperforming a little bit. Let's get into some of those depth pieces.
Yeah.
We all know that it's not necessarily about your stars and your top name players when you make deep playoff runs. It's about how much depth you have. Can you keep
Mm-hmm.
that offensive pressure and the defensive stalwart up through the third line, through the fourth line? If they're starting to get a couple of these depth pieces, that tells me that they're confident in how they're sitting right now, and they're confident going forward in this season.
Yeah.
We might be wrong with our preseason estimates. Washington may be getting a deep playoff run here.
They're making themselves appear like a playoff team.
Yeah.
Their record says it. They're 11-4-1. Their results are that way. Right now, they're a definitive playoff team. Like they're competing for first in their division, which no one thought was going to be a thing when you have teams like New Jersey, Carolina, and New York in there.
Yeah.
But they're
just remember, I had them missing the playoffs this year, so
yeah. And they still might. They still could just completely, utterly collapse.
Sure.
But
sure, like Winnipeg's gonna do.
Yeah, I did have a friend recently say that he does not think Winnipeg's as good as they are appearing right now, which could be possible.
Yeah, you never know.
Never know. But when you have a goal differential of 36 goals in the first 17 games of the season, yeah, you're probably overperforming a little bit, but
yeah.
Truly, how much? I don't know.
Yeah. We'll find out. I don't even want to talk about this next part.
Oh, boo. Oh, Muffin. Oh, Muffin.
Our Saturday head-to-head.
Are you going to be okay?
No longer undefeated, guys.
Wow.
I'll let you know.
He wins the first 3 weeks, and then all of a sudden finally gets a loss, and now it's always just pain. Oh, no.
It is.
Yes, I finally got him, guys. I predicted 7 out of 12 of the last week's games correctly. Jeff, how many did you predict correctly?
Apparently 5.
5.
I didn't check these results, though, so I'm just going to put that out there.
Oh, you doubt me? You doubt my honesty?
No, I didn't say that. You said that.
Though that isn't interesting. That isn't interesting. Maybe I need to go back and check because, the first 3 times you were the one who checked the results.
It's true.
And you just barely won each time. I, all of a sudden, the first week I go and finalize the results and check, I win.
That tells me that I've been consistent.
Consistently cheating, maybe.
Oh.
I don't know. I think I might have to go. In fact, I might have to go and do a recount.
Heavy
might have to go and do a recount.
With all of this, I'm gonna actually be very embarrassed if you do that and I actually find out like I miscounted once. I would be so embarrassed after this discussion.
Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. We'll see what I feel like doing.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Anyway. Yep. So what is that? 3-1. 3-1 me so far.
Yep. You've won 3 weeks. I've won 1. So you got to get one back. You got to get one back.
It's true. True. This is the week.
A 3-goal lead's never insurmountable. A 4-goal lead. That's when you actually start to have a safe lead in this league. So I had to. If I needed a chance, I couldn't let you have the 4-0. I couldn't let you sweep me.
It's true. It's true. And I picked a couple upsets this week, so I think that'll help. So we'll see what happens here.
We'll see what happens. Okay. Game number 1. St. Louis, Boston. Who you got?
That one's not the upset. Boston.
Okay. We both have Boston.
Yep.
Okay. New York Islanders against Seattle.
Both teams are going to lose.
That's not an option.
I'm going to edge out the Kraken here.
Oh, I have the Isles.
You got the Isles? Okay.
Jeff, Seattle. All right, Edmonton.
We have a
Toronto.
lot of stinker matchups this week.
Yeah.
This is not one of them. Edmonton, Toronto. I have to pull Edmonton.
See, now this is I also have Edmonton, but Edmonton traditionally has done poorly in Toronto.
Okay.
We like if you were betting people out there, if you were a betting person, I would probably advise you, if you want the safer option, to pick Toronto.
Okay.
But I can't, in good conscience, pick Toronto ever to beat Edmonton, regardless of how likely it may be. I'm always going to put Edmonton.
Edmonton it is. Blue Jackets and Montreal.
Holy crap. Both teams have, well, Columbus has 6 wins now. Oh, Columbus got a 6th win. Montreal has 5. So Columbus is now officially doing better than Montreal. So technically, Columbus is the favorite. Who you? I have Montreal.
I have Columbus. I have picked Montreal, I think, every week, and they have let me down, I think, every week. So
well,
that means they're probably going to, they're going to pull it out this week and win.
Yeah, so they can let you down one last time.
Exactly.
Yeah, at your funeral.
Devils and Lightning.
Oh, I got Tampa.
Who do I have? I picked New Jersey on this one.
I mean, Tampa Bay just gave Winnipeg their 2nd loss of the season.
Yeah.
So they're hot. Winnipeg, Florida. Do I even need to ask?
Winnipeg.
Wiener peg. Okay. Wiener peg. Okay. Well, I have Florida because I'm not afraid to pick them.
Hespo.
Yes, give it to me. Fun fact, I recently just found out Edmonton could have been the one to draft Matthew Tkachuk. And we were apparently going to. And then for some reason, based off of a previous pick, we panicked and ended up picking Jesse Puljujärvi. Yeah.
Puljujärvi.
Yeah, so we're not going to dwell on that. Buffalo, Philadelphia.
the tank bowl of the week. I picked Buffalo.
I also picked Buffalo. Because here's the funny thing. Buffalo, if they win one more game, is ahead of Boston in the standings.
Ew.
And they have how many games in hand? They only have 1 game in hand.
Yeah.
But even if they lose in overtime or a shootout, they will. I believe they will pass Boston in the standings. So Buffalo is in the tight race for 3rd place in the division right now. Okay. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Let people enjoy things.
No. And speaking of bottom feeders, we have San Jose against Pittsburgh.
I need San Jose to get under 20.5 wins for me.
And they're already at 5.
They're already at 5.
They are on pace to hit the over right now.
But they've been at 5 for like a week and a half now.
They are, well, actually that's false because they are on a 1-game losing streak.
Oh. They were at 4. So they've only won 1 in a week and a half.
Yeah.
But I got Pittsburgh.
I also have Pittsburgh because I want you to hit your under. I want that prediction to be true. Ottawa, Carolina.
This is tough. I think Carolina is definitely the better team.
Yeah.
But 3rd string goalie.
Yeah.
Give me Ottawa.
I have Carolina. Because I love their Canes. I love the Canes. They're a bunch of jerks, and I love it.
Ooh, I could go for some Canes right now. It is about lunchtime.
Not a sponsored stream.
Canes hit me up with that collab.
Dallas, Minnesota.
Dallas, Minnesota, and this is one of the harder ones of the week. I'm taking Minnesota though.
Oh, I'm taking Dallas.
If you guys haven't figured it out by now, I'm high on the Wild.
Yeah, you're Buck Wild.
Buck Wild.
Yeah, Detroit, Los Angeles Kings.
I think
Okay.
Detroit wins it, which is why I took the upset. I'm taking the Kings.
I took Detroit. Lots of uh, opposite decisions here this week. Ooh la
Yeah.
la.
Yeah. I needed to make sure I had plenty of opportunities to win it this week.
Oh, sure.
Chicago,
Chicago
Vancouver.
at Vancouver. So everyone keep that in mind. This is Vancouver, who has a great record, but has sucked at home. The 6 out of their 7 losses this season have all been at home. But it's the Bedards.
I took the Bedards.
Really? I took Vancouver. I think their coach
I
is
knew
going to
you
have
would.
them ready. Their coach is going to have them ready after that statement. He's going to have them ready, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the thing is,
And that's why I
if
took
they
Chicago.
lose to Chicago, there will be riots.
Yeah. Yeah. I knew what you were gonna pick, and I had to pick some opposites there.
Yeah.
I have to get this point back here. So
That's fair. So let's see.
upset city this week.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. So we're guaranteed to have no ties are possible. So
9 differences.
9
That
differences.
might be the most we've had all week. And by all week, I mean all season.
I knew what you meant.
Okay.
Yeah, 4 of the same, 9
It's
different.
been a long week.
So yeah, so this has the potential to be quite a
It's not gonna be close. Yeah.
Well, it could be close. It could still come down to one game.
It could.
Or one of us is just going to absolutely pummel the other.
Yeah.
So, guys,
I'm excited for this.
This is for who actually knows hockey here. Between the two of us. That's what's on the line right now, is who actually gets to have that hat that says, I know what I'm talking about.
Don't go that far.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
You shouldn't make fun of yourself like that. You do know hockey, sir.
Well, if I can't get these predictions right, I have to say no. I can't do that. I can't, in good faith, in all honesty, tell you guys, hey, this is what's up. Okay. Well, those are our predictions for this week. Watch some hockey, people. Have some fun.
Get out there. Lots of games today. Pay attention. It's snowing. Go set up your Christmas trees today.
Yay. Cool. Well, thanks, everyone. We'll see you next week, and have a good one. Bye.